Nah, I'm gonna put that on there because I don't want the bacon to stick. You're welcome, dog. Did we grab the steak bacon?
I'm sorry?
I think we grabbed it. I think we grabbed it. Yep, we did.
The fake bacon gets microwaved.
Ah, alright.
You would not.
Well, I want to put the bacon on. So, for this bacon, we're using APB natural applewood smoked bacon. Yep. Applewood smoked bacon. It's bacon. We're making BLTs, so. Good boy. Galloway dog. Did we preheat the oven? Hang on, preheat. Hang on.
No, I'm just like, things are not getting done. It's just the engineering teams were underperforming. And we're well titled, so I'm trying to genuinely like actually do this thing where your job disappears. And you're just like,
Where's the preheat?
It's not going to be preheat. Turn it off. Cancel clear. Go to bake. Top left. Go to bake. Top left. 350. Start. That's it.
There we go. We got some bacon. Go ahead and just heat up. This is applewood smoked bacon. So I can get this open. I'm probably gonna try and cook all of this just because. Just because I'm gonna try and cook all this. Nice. I'm probably not gonna make it for that. I completely forgot. Hello. Yes, I will. Yes, sir. I'll be out on the club layouts. Guess I'll see you on Sunday. I think I might run some lease power, some generally some other stuff. I don't know. I'll find out really what I'm going to be running. Although I'm going to be live on day one. Yeah, the 23rd, I believe. Yeah, 23rd is the first day of train. So I'll be there on the 23rd and 24th.
Five of these houses. More, because this is like 10 of these houses.
Yeah.
This is double. This is 2-story.
Which is pretty good. Let me see here. Might be running this. I don't know if I'll have it renumbered or not, but that's the current progress on my lease unit. Did I put the bacon in now? All right.
If it's on the pan, yes.
Go ahead and put the bacon in. Bro. Get the hell down. Dude, you just knocked over the camera. Sorry about that, chat. My dog just knocked over the camera. Let's see, we're gonna move the camera back because bring out the cutting board. Bring that back quite a bit. I think I'll go for this one. So if y'all don't know already, we're making BLTs, so. Rocket. Really? Let me go ahead and grab tomatoes. Where are the tomatoes? Those are not tomatoes. There's lettuce. I can't find my tomatoes.
Are they on the counter?
Who's looking for?
The tomatoes?
Oh, there they are.
Yeah, I put them on the
Found them. I'm actually getting a scaled trains at AC44 on the train go, and I have scale trains coil car. BNSF coil cars from scale trains. And in the past, I've had an ET44 C4, but I traded that in for the SD45 T-2. And I've had a scale trains operator, ES4488, but that self-destructed. The motor did. The motor self-destructed, and I turned it into a parts source. Mind lowering that? Don't. I want to avoid copyright. You have a CSX 1776. Nice. It's a little rough outside. And an NS AC44 C6M 4084. I'm probably gonna get some Norfolk Southern, like a Norfolk Southern locomotive at the train show. I think about it.
so much that we never saw. So if you're into Baldur's Gate 3 mods, news, and the stuff that most players miss, consider subscribing because there's plenty more coming soon. So let's start with the massive elephant in the room, the Upper City. Larian showed off Baldur's Gate's posh Upper City before launch, suggested that it would be explorable, and even teased that it was packed with political factions and proper open world design, and then nothing. We see it in the final cutscenes, and that's pretty much it. But why does that matter? Because it gutted one of the most important storylines in the game, Karlach's ending. But actual good ending, the one where her infernal engine was fixed and she lives, was tied to the events in the Upper City. It was apparently fully written, fully voiced, and ready to go. With that area removed, the evidence we got in the end was more of a pullback where it would have happened and what they were done. The only one that she passed without returning to awareness, where her engine is repaired and she lives a full life, ultimately got cut alongside the Upper City content. That was what I was saying in Baldur's Gate, curse-free, engine fixed, an actual ending. The storyline shifted significantly.
Get up on there and I will.
Meant to be this big.
Wow, you have the nerve.
Could be the faction leaders you work with or against. That dynamic becomes arc and personal with the Upper City gone.
You're a bad dog.
Across the entire journey, wrapping it up with a tailored voiceover based on your decisions in the game. Then there's the promo stuff. Daisy in early access. She's
Alright, back.
Dataline files and cinematic assets. She was internally
Old Bozo was.
Daisy, and she was a seductive dream visitor whose appearance, gender, and race were tailored by the player character and choices, often appearing in haunting hillside dream sequences, accompanied by the track down by the river. According to the Datamine content from early access patch 9, Daisy was meant to embody the seductive lure of the tadpole, offering an illusion of love and safety in exchange for surrender. And this then ties into a full alternate ending where the player can embrace the dream world, undergo cerebromorphosis, and live in a blissful mental illusion while physically becoming a mind flame. Cinematics and dialogue for this arc was scripted and partially implemented, but never accessible to the player. It was ultimately completely cut before full release. That concept was later then folded into the Guardian Emperor arc to streamline the Illithid narrative. That decision-making narrative sense would of course remove the surreal, abstract tone that Daisy's storyline was brought. Speaking of different endings, Raphael had one too. According to Datamine dialogue and cut quest scripting, there was originally a full quest line in which the player would bargain with Raphael in Act 3 to have the tadpole removed in exchange for their soul. This wasn't just a one-off conversation. He would have had his own shop in the House of Hope where soul coins functioned as currency and players could use them to buy powerful infernal gear and potentially even buy their soul back if they'd already struck a deal. Essentially, Raphael was meant to be a fully viable endgame solution to the tadpole problem, a classic deal with the devil type path with major consequences. But of course, in the final game, that entire route is gone. Soul coins still exist, but they're only used to boost Karlach's engine or grant minor buffs during Raphael's boss fight. The hag storyline is another one. You meet Auntie Ethel in Act 1, and she's got letters from other hags hidden around her home. Originally, there was going to be a full trilogy, one hag per act, all leading up to their leader, Mother. But in the final game, that arc doesn't materialise. Ethel appears again briefly in Act 3 if she's alive, with a broader Coven storyline was ultimately left behind. Then there's Orin. She originally had a red dragon. Datamine files specifically refer to a barless red dragon, suggesting that Orin was meant to corrupt or control a dragon as part of her arc, and this would have likely led to a dramatic boss encounter at some point in Act 3. There was also a planned sequence in Act 2 where Orin's cultists were supposed to attack the Githyanki Kresh, leading to a chaotic three-way battle between Tav, Githyanki, and Baal's followers. In the final build, these events were completely cut. Even Bane, one of the Dead Three, was meant to have a larger presence. Gortash is his chosen, but originally Baneite cultists were going to appear as enemies in Act 3. Fully modelled armour, weapons, and encounter data exist for Baneite factions, but none of it made it into the final release version. Avernus was supposed to be a real zone 2, not just a cutscene or a one-off background. According to Datamine files and early content material, Larian originally planned for a full, explorable region set in Avernus, complete with infernal enemies, environmental hazards, to Karlach, and the Blood War. The area was intended to function similarly to the Underdark, an optional zone filled with high-level encounters, Avernus with her. Soul coins were also supposed to serve a greater mechanical purpose in the region, used to power infernal devices, argue with devils, or influence endings tied to the hells. In the final game, Avernus remains more of a narrative background than a player location. Outside of the prologue and one or two ending cinematics, the player and then there's the side quests. Remember Mole, Antika and Kid, who hand over all the stuff to Raphael. She gets taken into the House of Hope, but there's no follow-up. In the final game, she later reappears and casually claims she escaped the Datamine dialogue and points out to suggest that this was originally meant to lead to a full-on break into Raphael, where again to say that Datamine has even uncovered an unused animation of Mole trapped in a cage within the House of Hope, reinforcing that the subtle rescue sequence was a one-point plan that never made it into the final game. Mr. Carrion's necromancy plot into a second act involving the Raven Queen. After the player finishes his Act 3 quest, there are notes in the final game that our new files reference additional stages involving the Raven Queen. And Minsc, he was originally planned to show up way earlier, possibly as an origin character. According to the content in Datamine files, dialogue tags suggest he could have been encountered as early as the end of Act 1, and his storyline may have initially included a much larger presence in the party.
Alright, one more thing.
Act 3 introduction. There was even entire lines of dialogue and companion banter.
Let me grab some real quick.
Quests will be
Rocket,
Datamine
don't you dare.
fully voiced but unused
No.
where companions react.
No.
Small NPCs that don't actually appear in the final game will turn in
No,
characters
sir.
like Halsin or Shadowheart and multiple references to
No,
the
sir.
Concept art for the game depicts this as a cliffside gnome setting
Thank you.
along the River Chiontar. Game notes reference the Absolute forces overrunning it. Also points to this once being a visitable location, possibly between Acts 2 and 3. Ultimately, it was cut. This to me is what makes Baldur's Gate 3 so fascinating to revisit. It's a masterpiece, no doubt. You can see the outlines of something even more ambitious. And
Down.
Baldur's Gate 3 is a phenomenal game.
Down.
More ideas than it could reasonably fit. And honestly, that's
Rocket.
that's a sign of just how much heart and love went into it. Let me mention these cut pieces of content.
Little idiot. You're a little idiot.
When Richard II gave up his
You're
throne,
such an
he
idiot.
made Henry IV promise to spare his life. But promises can be broken. Henry Richard's end was unspeakably brutal. King Richard II was one of the most notorious monarchs to set on the English throne. Shakespeare may have immortalized his villainous reign, but his true story is both darker and much more complicated. Richard was a faker from the start. Born in 1367 to Edward the Black Prince and Joan, Countess of Kent, Richard wasn't even born in England, the country he was soon to rule. The future king was actually born in southwestern France, in the port city of Bordeaux, officially making him Richard of Bordeaux. And from the moment he came into the world, he started a whirlwind. For all that he had massive mental deficiencies, Richard was physically blessed. He was 6 foot tall and handsome. And although he lost his grip on reality at the end, he was an intelligent, well-read man. He did, however, have one flaw. When he was upset, he would stammer. His birth and inheritance were unusual in more ways than one. First of all, the future king wasn't even the son of a king. His father, Edward, was Prince of Wales and next in line for the throne. But Richard was also his youngest son. The fact he ever gave it to the and it only came through tragedy. When he was just a boy of 4, his older brother Edward died from the bubonic plague at just 6 years old. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be the last time the devastating illness altered Richard's life. Richard's brother took a severe toll on his father. He had contracted dysentery, and the grief turned his illness fatal. Richard's father died before ever reaching the funeral. Richard was only 10 when he became King of England. His coronation ceremony was a 2-day affair.
Good boy.
flowing from fountains throughout the city to celebrate.
Calm down.
While
Dumbass.
the rain was flowing and the parades
Calm down.
people were also given their very own castle. The massive structure
What's going on?
He's being an idiot.
of London, and 4 maidens stood in its 4 towers, showering the young Richard with gold as he marched by for the ceremony. When he was just 14,
Bacon's ready.
he faced his first real test as king. In
On the
1361,
money.
the infamous peasants' revolt erupted after the king raised
On the money.
Groups of men blocked, mobbed, and burned down key sites all over the capital. It was pandemonium, but not for Richard. He was hiding in
Come
his
on.
hotel of London. Eventually, he realized that if he wanted to hold on to his crown, he had to assert himself. On June 13th,
Hey.
to meet the rebels and
Back.
Richard held
Yeah, don't make me, dog.
peasants' revolt and granted clemency to the rebels, only to quickly revoke the order. Then he did one better and went out on the battlefield himself to personally squash any of the stragglers. Being a king with vast resources, he was
Yeah.
successful, and it had devastating consequences for the rest of his reign. The peasants ruled baptized Richard II in blood, and he never forgot the dark lessons he learned over those few
Sure, go ahead.
As he aged, he started to guard his crown ever more jealously, eventually becoming a staunch defender of his absolute power. At the height of his reign, Richard corrupted himself to cartoon villain proportions. Convinced that he was God's chosen one, the king became notorious for how bad he was at interacting with commoners. He was incredibly susceptible to flattery and spent most of his reign insulating himself in his court with his various favourites. Although he was ruinously vain, some historians believe there were even darker forces at play during Richard's ill-fated reign. Some historians have gone so far as to claim that he had schizophrenia, while the most recent work suggests he suffered from a narcissistic personality disorder. Richard II's focus on arts and culture did have some upshots. English was developing as a literary language during this time, and Richard's refined court did a lot to help it along. In fact, the father of English literature, Geoffrey Chaucer, worked in the king's court early in his career, and his writing was known for other titles than William Shakespeare. Richard didn't just enjoy paintings of himself, he was also a fan of gaudy jewellery and textiles, and spent massive amounts of money on baubles to adorn both himself and his loved ones. Though history has consumed many of these items, one of the most breathtaking achievements of Gothic jewellery, Queen Anne's crown, is still around today. Richard was a growing king, which meant he needed a queen. His eye fell on Anne of Bohemia, whose pedigree was as good or even better than his own. Her father was Charles IV, aka the Holy Roman Emperor. The union might have looked like a match on the outside, but the truth was much different. Everyone hated the idea of Richard and Anne becoming a couple, except Richard and Anne. Anne brought no dowry to England, but the king only wanted her anyway. In fact, he had to pay her family for the privilege of marrying her. They were both 15 years old, and they married at Westminster Abbey on January 20th, 1382. In 1387, Richard II's reign really started to fall apart at the seams when a faction of Parliament called the Lords Appellate finally managed to oust all his favourite courtiers from power. But Richard had been playing with Game of Thrones since he was 10. He eventually gained control, then dealt them a brutal revenge. historians believe she was as good for his reign as she was for his heart. She made him more compassionate and moderated his tendencies in matters of state, and he repaid her with almost complete devotion until the day that all came crashing down. In 1394, an old enemy of Richard II's came knocking. That year, his beloved wife Anne fell ill with the bubonic plague, the same disease that had killed Richard's brother and weakened his father. Soon after contracting the illness, Anne died at her home in Sheen Manor. Richard was so devastated and grief-stricken that he even had Sheen Manor demolished so he would never have to look at it again. For the rest of his reign, he was irrational and increasingly
Hopefully this dog will eat my food.
his personal frustrations on his political career. When traveling to Scotland for a campaign, he got the heartbreaking news that his mother had passed. Richard's reaction redefined unthinking. Perhaps venting his feelings, he let his men loose on Edinburgh, and together they destroyed the city. Through with the he decided to orchestrate a strict
Food's ready.
Princess Isabella of Valois instead. Sounds fairly normal until you hear
Alright, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this
hold at the time of the engagement.
live stream. Please like and subscribe. As always, this is BNSF 3815 out.